Let's hear it for Joyce and all that. Clap if you want. Go ahead and clap. All right, go stand and stretch. Again, let's hear for Joyce Supernova. Everybody else is exhausted watching me? And I was glad to see that I'm not the only person who can't figure out how to use my phone to trigger music like that. Since the kids were fine, it's the adults that struggle with the phone stuff. Hey, if you want some more about them, My MC Media has produced an award-winning documentary about Joyce Supernova. It's called Cheers of Joy. I think we're hearing Cheers of Joy right now. And for more, you can find it, of course, on the website, cheersofjoy.com. You ready to feel alive tonight? Huh? Yeah. You know, it's often said, there's only two times in life you really are alive. And that's when you're laughing or you're crying. And think about that, there's a lot of truth to that. Tonight, we're going to do some laughing. When you hear my speech, you're going to do some crying. So, you're going to feel alive tonight, because that's what it's all about. I'm Big Johnson. I'm the senior sports director at WTOP, as it says right there. Also the play-by-play announcer. Thank you, my son's in college, I need the job, so I appreciate that applause right there. The play-by-play announcer for the Washington Wizards and DC United, and anchor for NBC4. So this is a lesson that paranoia and security does motivate you in life, and it's certainly well. You might be wondering what I'm doing here tonight, and certainly I was thinking the same thing in traffic on Colesfield Road. What am I doing here tonight in Silver Spring? But, you know, Jim Newstead and Julian Norman called me. And any of you know Julian? I just met him for the first time. Thank God I didn't say no to him. Julian's a big guy. He played high school football, probably against one of our Hall of Fame inductees there, a couple of them. And oh, thank God I said yes to Julian along with Jim tonight. But they called me and they said, hey Dave, we got this great event and you're a Montgomery County guy. I said, well, I was born in Prince George's County. And I grew up in Anne Arundel County. In fact, I was part of the 27th class of the Anne Arundel County Sports Hall of Fame, which goes to show you, when they get to the 27th class, they're pretty desperate. They're looking for anybody to induct. Are you still alive? Come on down. We've got an award to give you. So I didn't answer that question right. But the next question, are you available September 13th? Well, that's how I got 4 jobs. I kept saying yes when I said available. And also, Jim and Julian said, what are some of your thoughts on free speech? And I said, I've been a journalist for 30 years. I believe in free speech. And they said, well, good, come give us one. I heard George Steinbrenner tell that joke 30 years ago, and he still does it better, but I still try. I just wanted to see if it still worked in Silver Spring on a Friday night. It is indeed. It doesn't work on a Saturday, but on Friday you'll listen to anything. It's an honor to be your master ceremonies for a very special ceremony, the first ever, can you believe that? Induction ceremony. No, go ahead and applaud. We need the applause. At the brand new Montgomery County Sports Hall of Fame, I saw that even got a website. That's pretty good. What a website. You know it's real if there's a website. Are you on Twitter yet? Well, it's either on Twitter. What am I doing here? They got everything sorted out. It says recognizing the extraordinary achievements of our athletes. And I think about all the wonderful athletes at all levels that I've had the privilege of covering. And I think about, you all heard of Cal Ripken, of course. In October 6, 2001, in his farewell baseball address of his Hall of Fame career, he said he'd been asked in the past few weeks leading up to his final game, how do you want to be remembered? Ripken's response was, to be remembered at all is pretty special. And he said he might also add that if I'm remembered, I hope it's because by living my dream, I was able to make a difference. Cal Ripken's quote certainly applies to this evening, and they were about to honor and celebrate. They lived their dream, and they made a difference. In so many ways, that's what it's all about. You know, I think it's also important to remember that everyone has a story. And you're going to hear common themes like sportsmanship and citizenship, pronunciation, teamwork, leadership, and hard work. Good thing I'm a trained announcer for a living. These are some of the themes that attract us to be involved in sports in whatever capacity and at whatever level. The men and women who we honor tonight have all achieved great things in their chosen sports and chosen vocations. Listen, we look up to them, right? Our children look up to them. We admire them for what they are and what sports contribute to our community. And as the great Yogi Berra once said on a night when they honored him, thanks for making this night necessary. Almost makes sense if you think about it for one. My favorite Yogi quote, nobody goes to that restaurant anymore, it's too crowded. If you think about that, that makes sense. But this night is more than necessary. And before we get to this night, believe it or not, there's a point to this story. We're getting there. I have to remind you about the auction. It is now over. But you can check the results out in the lobby area after the program. And you know what? One of my official titles tonight, I'll be reading the names of the numbers of the winners for the auction tonight. So you know it's a big event. And again, this is a free fundraiser The Hall of Fame is a nonprofit. We're just getting this started, and we're hoping that you all get involved. And again, we've got the website you can go to, right? The website, which I can't read, but if you call me at 202-438-1166, I'll give you that number. So, you know, over and over I've heard it tonight that it's the first ever Montgomery County Hall of Fame induction. And this is a great county. Even though I'm from Anne Arundel, born in Prince George's, this is a great county. This is a county we looked up to. When you're in Anne Arundel and Prince George, you say, boy, I wish I was in Montgomery County. So, but this is your first ever Hall of Fame ceremony, and everybody said, well, it's a good idea. But it takes someone to make an idea and turn it into action. It takes someone and a team of people. And leading that team, and I think this is not our first rodeo together. See, I'm the default MC for Montgomery County events. I opened the Maryland Soccerplex with a live cow 15 years ago. So, and my career's been flying high ever since, Daisy the cow. It's a true story about Daisy the cow. And if you've never been downwind of Daisy out in Boys, it's a different story. But she's now the chair of the Montgomery County Sports Hall of Fame. She's someone that turns ideas into action. Let's say hello to Trish Heffelfinger. Trish?
Yeah, David and I go way back. That was back in 2000, and we did in fact have a cow, Daisy, who did a moo pie contest. Does anybody ever know what that is? Everybody in the Midwest knows it. So it was crazy. We did a grid on the stadium field, our precious stadium field, and then you bet on where little Miss Daisy was going to do her business. Well, Miss Daisy didn't want to do any business, and so we're walking around to the Rocky theme, and then to Jeopardy, and she never did anything. Dave, as you can see, wonderful, and was telling people they could rent Daisy out for bar mitzvahs and for weddings and whatnot. So it was a bust because Daisy didn't want to do anything, but he was amazing, and I thank you to this day for rescuing me. So tonight is a big night, and welcome to the inaugural induction ceremony for the Montgomery County Hall of Fame. Tonight, you're part of Montgomery County history as we honor 6 amazing individuals who have achieved great success in their chosen sport and have also made a lasting contribution to our community. We are so pleased to recognize all of them as Montgomery County's own. The Sports Hall of Fame was created to honor the men and women who, through sports, have brought honor and pride to our county. Our 6 honorees exemplify the passion, determination, and hard work that are all the hallmarks of achievement in sports. But before we begin the main event, I'd like to take a moment to recognize and thank the many people and organizations who have provided us their support to get us here tonight. First, our elected officials, and if I call your name, if you could just kind of raise your hand. County Executive Mark Eldridge. Council members Gabe Albernaz, Andrew Friedson, Evan Glass, Tom Hubbard, Will Girondo, and Hans Reamer. And from Senator Van Hollen's office, we have Jeff Samuels. And from our state delegation, Delegate David Fraser Hidalgo. I'm not sure if he's here. I know Kirill Resnick is here. Mark Corman was here. Leslie Lopez was going to be here, but she's 9 months pregnant, so I'm glad she's not here. And Erin Ellie. Thank you all. And I bet there's a future Hall of Famer in that group right there. And also, please help me thank our if not for them, we wouldn't be here tonight. So thank all of them who have supported us. The amazing Montgomery County Recreation Department. And Robin Riley and Jewel Lyons and Trish Gill, the other Trish in the county. We can never thank you enough for all your help this past year. It has been invaluable, so thank you. And to all the organizations and individuals who donated to our very cool silent auction. I hope you got a chance to bid. It was really an achievement and getting together the whole sports community to donate to that. And now to our team, the remarkable board of directors of the Sports Hall of Fame. And the indispensable, if you met her, Drina Valentine, our consultant, who kept the ball rolling every day. Could you all please stand up? We were sort of your classic, some of them are standing up. We were sort of your classic startup. And most of them are in the back of the room. We're all in black shirts. We're the black shirt crowd. We were sort of your classic startup. We were establishing and funding an organization, sharing ideas, having some fun. There was a lot of sports trivia contests going on. But I am really fortunate to work with such a dedicated and passionate group of people. You know, sports bring people and communities together, just like tonight. More than 200,000 people are involved in sports in Montgomery County. That's pretty remarkable. And that goes from parents and coaches and managers and volunteers up to these wonderful 6 people we are honoring tonight. We've all learned powerful life lessons through participation in sports. We've built lifelong friendships. And most of all, I hope we've had a lot of fun. It's having fun in sports that encourages children to join and to continue. The Hall of Fame is committed to not only recognizing achievement, but promoting participation in athletics for everyone throughout the county. Our vision is to make sure that every child who wishes to participate in sports is able to, regardless of ability, disability, or means. And we hope you will join us in this mission. And I want to thank all of you for joining us as we start a new Montgomery County tradition. So thank you. That's my honor to introduce our county executive, Mark Elridge. Right after he was elected, Vice Chair Matt Burzak, Drina Valentine, and I went to meet with Mark to ask for his support. He did not only hesitate, he embraced our idea, and we're grateful for his support. Most people know Mr. Elridge is passionate about music, but they may not be aware that he's an avid sports fan as well, and a participant. Mr. Elridge.
I truly love sports. Unfortunately, my mother would not let me play high school or college sports. I had asthma. She was convinced that if I ran around outside, which I did anyway, that somehow if I did it in organized sports, I would wind up with asthma attacks. And so I got banned from playing sports, which was really unfortunate. My own son played baseball and basketball player, and this year I was able to see my grandson play on the Blair basketball team. So I really think sports are very valuable. My own playing was limited to softball leagues and my favorite flag football in the industrial leagues in Sturgis County, where you still play when I played a little bit anymore. You played under NFL rules, which means you can hit a receiver all the way down the field until the ball was in the air. And that was the kind of playing that I really enjoyed. So I am a passionate sports fan. I had the pleasure of meeting the team to put this together, and I was very excited about it. I thought it was cool. And they were excited about it, and I was convinced by their energy that this thing was going to happen, and that they had the people and the support to do it. And they were right. And so I was happy to support this effort. And I think it's going to be a good contribution to Montgomery. It's a pleasure to meet Mr. Johnson, who's father and despite my life. A famous coach in Montgomery County. I joke about coaching. I went to Einstein High School in the 60s. The only team in every sport that anybody played was Kennedy. I'm not sure that we won a football game in the time that I went to Einstein. Even though we had one of the best quarterbacks. I don't know, Ricky Eisenhower, if anybody knows back in the day. We were one of the best quarterbacks. We never won a football game as far as I can tell. So it would have been nice to be in a winning school. It was really dreary going out there and getting beat every weekend and watch your team lose. I'm eager to see some of the presentations tonight. I mean, some of these, I know Dominic Carlson, I served with your uncle, grandfather on the city council in Tacoma Park, and I remember the excitement when you were in the Olympics, which was just infectious for everybody who was there. So it's really nice to be here. There's a lot of talent. Sports are really valuable. They teach teamwork. They teach you to win graciously if you're well coached. And they teach you to lose graciously if you're coached. And you learn how to win and lose very quickly. You learn how to lose is sometimes the most important things, because that's the time when you're really tested. And you have to measure how you're supposed to respond to all your frustration and all the things that you're feeling. And you have to figure out how they deal with loss. And so I think sports contribute a lot to people's goals. They learn how to listen. And I saw when I was doing, I taught elementary school, and I met a lot of the kids. And there were kids that we worked with who we were trying to get through to, and me and the janitors and some of the other teachers were organizing Friday basketball games in the gym to give them an opportunity to see us as human teachers and to actually communicate with them and play with them at the same level. And so that was a connection that was really valuable for the kids, and I think it was valuable for the adults who were engaged too. So some of our honorees have, attended school here, Gaithersburg, Germantown, Churchill, Stone Ridge, Valloy, coached at about all of them. That's what they say. And so I think this is going to be a great and successful organization. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the first 6 inductees, and there'll be more every year. There's a lot of talent that's coming out of Montgomery County. We think about our intellectual talent, we think about artistic talent, but we've got people who can play sports here too. We function at all levels in Montgomery County. I'm proud to be part of it and really glad to see everybody here tonight and excited for the future of this organization. So thank you for giving me a couple minutes to say something.
So the hall is just about a year old, but it was the idea of now council member Gabe Albanaz, who was then Director of Recreation. He took the idea to then County Executive Mike Leggett. And we are very fortunate to have both of them here tonight. I think Gabe and I over the years have talked about sports in Montgomery County. I was up at the soccerplex. Gabe was head of recreation. And we kept talking about how can we shine a light on sports. And Gabe came up with the idea of the Hall of Fame. So I'm honored tonight to ask Gabe to come up and say words about the Hall of Fame and about his vision. Thank you.
So I have not worn my varsity letter jacket for 25 years. I figured tonight was as good as any to wear it again, so I'm going to put it on. Smells like mothballs, but it still fits. What an exciting evening tonight. I want to begin by acknowledging my boss, who will always be my boss, Ike Leggett, for supporting this vision. He was quite an athlete himself, and it was actually actually a speech that he gave acknowledging his high school football coach and the importance that he played in his development in his life. And really honestly, from Montgomery Sports Hall of Fame. Because sports at their best bring us together in ways that are difficult to describe. Earlier this year, my colleagues and I from the Montgomery County Council honored the Springbrook boys wrestling team, who went 25-1, and for the first time in the illustrious sports history of Springbrook High School, won the state championship, which in of itself was significant. But what made it even more significant was that team had 14 countries represented on it. Lebanon, Haiti, China, Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, Russia, countries from all around the world. More than 2/3 of the team had never wrestled before getting to Springbrook High School. And so when you think about the teamwork and the camaraderie it took to win a state championship and to overcome 14 different languages at least spoken, those are skills, those are memories, those are things that those young men are going to be able to hold on to for the rest of their lives. Our country is as divided as it's ever been, but sports is one of the few things that can bring us together in an authentic and real way. The Montgomery County Sports Hall of Fame is not just about acknowledging tremendous achievement. That is primarily why we're here. But when we really get this up and running, we want this to be a vehicle to bring all sports organizations together under one roof in one night to talk and celebrate sports. My colleagues and I in the County Council have recently commissioned an analysis of youth sports, children and youth sports participation across the entire county. And what I suspect we're going to find is that there's a disproportionate number of students participating depending on what zip code they live in. I think what we're going to find is that, and I'm going through this right now with my 4 children, we've lost some of those recreational opportunities and are going from zero to elite too fast. We have to make sure that all youth have the same opportunities that I had and these remarkable athletes and mentors and coaches had as well. And we're committed to doing that. I've spoken to our county executive about this, and looking into next year, we want to eliminate some of the barriers to ensure that regardless of what zip code you live in, what sport you want to play, that you have a home here in Montgomery County. And maybe one day, some of those athletes will be honored 27 years from now, Dave. Thank you all very much. I have a certificate I want to present to Trish, and I want to thank the board and Trish Heffelfinger in particular for really making this vision possible, for carrying it out. And you're going to get a lot of support from this council and this county executive moving forward, which I bless.
Councilor Albert Odds. So that's a Whitman 93 region, county and state. You want it all. Let's give a round of applause for that. Championship, Whitman, that was just tremendous. He's right about sports being a unifying force. Anybody else get caught in the conversation of whether or not Adrian Peterson should have been benched on Sunday? The world's going to hell, but we can always talk about should Adrian Peterson been active, and he's going to start on Sunday. So, I don't know why I brought that up. He's not from Montgomery County, but anyway. It is a special night, the first ever induction of the Montgomery County Sports Hall of Fame, and it's time now for our first inductee, Dominic Doss. This is just one of many first inside and out. And here's another number. I know, I got a stomach speech problem. Here's another number. 3.5 billion people. That's how many people, 3.5 billion, watched her on TV. Go ahead and take a look.
that gold medal with 6 of the most talented girls. We all chose to check our ego at the door.
Feel free to applaud. Go ahead.
Low someone may seem to you on a totem pole, or how high you may seem on a totem pole, you need each other to achieve your greatest potential. You need each other to achieve that common goal.
Love those words. We do need each other. How often do we say we're all in this together? We hear, of course, of many of Dominique's many athletic awards, but she's had many other accolades as well. President of the Women's Sports Foundation, and as part of Michelle Obama's Let's Move Active Schools campaign. That's very important. Co-chair of the President's Council on Fitness, Sports, and Nutrition back in 2010, and the youngest president of the Women's Sports Federation. She also did a stint on Broadway in Greece. And oh, by the way, was on Broadway. So we can go on and on. But Tom tonight is Dominique's longtime friend, mentor, and colleague. The older girl, if you will, who took Dominique and others under her wing. Dominique first walked into a Wheaton gym, as you just heard in the video, at age 6. Here to present the award on this special night for the Montgomery County Sports Hall of Fame. Present the award to Dominique Dawes is Tandra Knight. Tandra?
Thank you. I go by Tandy, in case anyone was wondering. Tandra's my full name, and only my mother still uses that on me for when I'm in trouble. I'm really honored to be here tonight, and when Dominique told me about this award, I mean, it's so fitting for her. I've known Dominique for over 30 years. It's scary to think, and I know you're thinking that's hard to believe because I'm only 29, so I don't know how it's possible. Gymnasts, I have a theory we age backwards, so I remember the first day Dominique walked into the gym. I was one of the older girls on the team, often thought of as the big sister. And she walked in, ran over to the uneven bars, couldn't even reach the low bar, that's how tiny she was, jumped up, grabbed it, a pullover, and we all looked at each other and just went, whoa. There's something special about this girl. She was just a bundle of muscles and energy and smiles, and we knew right then, at 6 years old, there was something special. Who would have known how far she could have taken this path, and the path that she opened for other gymnasts, particularly gymnasts of color. Also, breaking the age barrier, where gymnastics is usually you're done as a teenager. Dominique took it to another level, and we're seeing the results of that today with Olympic teams that have gymnasts in their 20s. It's unheard of back in my day. And the other thing I think about Dominique that maybe not a lot of people know, but as a gymnast, and particularly I saw right away, gymnasts sometimes fall into 2 categories: the power gymnast or the elegant, graceful gymnast. Dominique blended both of those so beautifully, and it's very rare that you see a gymnast do that. She was so strong and so powerful, but so beautiful to watch. The artistry that she would put out on her routines was just stunning, and that's part of the reason why she was able to have such a long career in this sport. So it's truly an honor for me to be here tonight. She's known as Dom to her teammates. She's known as Awesome to her fans. She's known as Mom to the kids. But I consider her one of my best friends and a sister. And so, congratulations, Dominique.
Thank you so much, Andy, for that amazing intro. Very touching. I have no more tears to cry these days because she remembers me in the gymnastics gym for 18 years, and I cried a lot. A lot of tears of joy and a lot of tears of sorrow, I will say that. But it is truly an honor to be here this evening, and I hope I'm not breaking any rules by bringing 2 of my 4 children up this evening. I have my 5.5-year-old Kateri, who was so excited about being on stage with Mommy, and now she's turned her back down. And then my 4-year-old, who's very much like me, very introverted, and tries to shy away from the stage whenever she can. And I will keep this short. I am a speaker. We can be very long-winded. Politicians, you understand, right? But I truly just want to say it's an honor. I went to 3 Olympic Games, definitely inspired and touched many lives throughout my nearly 20-year journey. But I realized the minute that my career was over, that in sports and those achievements that really don't lead to happiness or equate to fulfillment. I was blessed to meet my husband, Jeff Thompson, a local school teacher. And yes, honey, this is date night. And we always bring to half the kids. But we are completely opposites. If this were him up here receiving an award, you would see this whole place packed, and it would be standing room only, because he has made it an effort in his life to build a true, healthy connection with people. And being from the upbringing that I came from, it has been very terrifying and a very fearful opportunity for me to come out of my shell. But marrying someone like Jeff, who is my complete opposite, has been a blessing for me. And today, oh my gosh, wow. Childhood, oh my gosh, wow. As a mom of 4, the gold medal, the years in gymnastics really prepared me for what's most important in life. And it's what's standing up here with me today. I know at the end of my days, it is not going to matter what the world thinks of me to me. It is really going to truly be about my family and inspiring my 4 kids, 3 daughters and 1 son. We got it in there, right, Jeff? Got a little boy. And that's why each and every day I am inspired and lifted up by being a mom. And I always say to people, you know what, I could train for a 4th Olympic Games, it would be a piece of cake. Because being a mom of 4 little kids has its tremendous challenges each and every day. But at some point throughout that week, there is that moment where it's truly fulfilling and uplifting. And so while I'm being inducted into the Montgomery County Sports Hall of Fame, for me, it's not about solely my athletic achievements. It's truly about me embracing each and every day of doing the most important job there is in this world, and that is about being a positive, healthy, and encouraging parent. So thank you all for having me.
Dominique Dawes, ladies and gentlemen. You know, she's won, you're on Broadway, right? She was on Broadway. She's won 7 gold medals, but did you hear her speech? She didn't miss a beat with one of her daughters circling the whole time. That may have been the best. You nailed that landing. That was perfect.
Competing in the Georgia Dome 23 years ago with 50,000 people there, and as you said, 3.5 billion people watching. I will say I've learned throughout my years of how to stay focused on things. But Andy pointed out, it's not Broadway, but I'm proud about it. Honestly, working with Prince in the Prince video, he was really an inspiration. Yeah.
Little Purple Rain there, working with Prince. That was cool. So, can I, this is Quinn. Are you Quinn? I know that's a trick question. I don't know that too. Are you Palomami? Would you like to name with the microphone either way? That's right.
It is nice
By the way, this may be the first Hall of Fame date night we've ever had. I've been to a lot of Hall of Fame ceremonies, so we're all going to Applebee's afterwards, so if you're all for that. Any other thoughts, though? Because, again, I think, as I said at the start of this night, everyone has a story. And it may end up with Prince or on Broadway, it may not, but it starts somewhere. And getting out of your shell and participating, and that's why opportunities here in Montgomery County are so important.
Well, I'm by nature an introvert. If anyone knew me through my years in school, and one of my college classmates from the University of Maryland here, most people never heard me speak more than 10 words at a time, and if there was a stage, I would run from it, and even one of my first competitions when I won all around and I won all 4 events, I did not want to stay on top of that podium, but what my husband has been doing, which I think is very healthy for me, is helping me recognize the impact that I have and that I can continue to make. And so, coming out of my shell and recognizing that I can continue to inspire and make a difference, not only in my kids' lives, that's running away, but also in the lives of others, that it's my duty. And it truly is my calling. And that's why I'm very excited to, hopefully in 2020, open the Dominic Dawes Gymnastics Academy.
All right.
For those of you all that know anything that has come out in the light of sport gymnastics in 2016, with the NASAR scandal, there's a lot of unhealthy culture people in the sport of gymnastics. And emotional abuse and verbal abuse, physical abuse and sexual abuse are very real in the sport of gymnastics. And as I am a mother of 4 kids and I have a love for the sport of gymnastics, and there is not a healthy culture that I feel confident with in the state of Maryland, that is why I'm so motivated to open this business, not only to introduce my kids to a sport they love, but to continue to inspire today's generation and future generations in the sport of gymnastics.
Congratulations.
No one know in my family, because I have a very huge family in this area, but my Aunt Roanna is here, my friend Cassie's here, and neighborhood friends, Mrs. Wilson and Jennifer Wilson. Oh my goodness, I'm married, but it's just great to see so many familiar faces.
And you're being pulled on stage.
I am, thank you.
The introverted Dominic Dawes, ladies and gentlemen. And we look back, the Dominic Dawes Academy coming in 2020. What a way to start our evening here at the Montgomery County Sports Hall of Fame, our first ever inductee, Dominic Dawes. Years ago, I checked, I wasn't at the game, but some nights I feel like I should have been at that game. The great pitcher Walter Johnson was in the middle of his 20-year career. He played, of course, for the Washington team, the Senators, the Nationals, whatever they called them back then, from 1907 to 1927. Now, we don't hear statistics like he put up anymore. An example, he won 414 games. Did they have any other pitchers on the team? Again, he did that for a losing team, yeah. The Senators were a losing team, although they did win a World Series in 1924. But there was that one World Series, it was 95 years ago, and here's a bit of a reminder.
There's Walter, he's a stranded kid, didn't like his kid on about 20. Tall, lanky, didn't have a curve, but he had that fastball.
He ran for Congress, but did not win. That's okay, he's not missing anything, didn't miss anything with that. Walter Johnson High School, as you just saw in the video, deservedly bears his name. The big train, Bethesda big train game, that's a great night out. Big train summer college baseball game bears his nickname. Bob Johnson remembers working his grandfather's farm in Germantown. We're so proud to say, and we thank him so much for his service, Bob spent 30 years with the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department. Let's have a applause for that. And now there's a boys, the home of the soccer players, right? Home of the soccer players. We'll have to get you to a soccer game. Please welcome Walter Johnson's grandson, Bob Johnson.
I'd like to say that on behalf of the Walter Johnson family, we thank this group for giving Walter this award. There's many of Walter's family in the back, and I'd like them to stand up and be recognized. My son and his family, my wife, several of
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Johnson. And your grandfather was the one and only Walter Johnson. You were saying earlier, he was friends with Ty Cobb.
Yes, they were hunting partners and friends. They had West a good bit. There wasn't too many ball players that had much to do with Ty. He could be pretty honored, but he and
Walter got along with everyone. Walter, see, family, Walter's just a good guy. And he put a story that stands out that was passed on through the Johnson family.
Oh, in fact, the only one that I can really think of is Walter got his first consignment he got, I think it was Nancy might be able to help him out here, was with the Dr. Pepper beverage company. And they gave Walter a car to drive around, and it had the Dr. Pepper letters and all on it. And when the boys, my dad was the youngest of the three boys. Walter had children, 3 boys and 2 daughters. And he'd always take the boys to the ballpark with him. And when they finished the game for the day, they'd go over to the Dr. Pepper plant and they'd load up this old car. I think it was an old Rio with Dr. Pepper, and they'd all take it home. The kids would enjoy that. And my dad used to do this way.
Thank you, Bob. He pitched fastballs and he gave his kids soda. They were flying off the walls. That was good. Like they call them, Walter, the big train. Maybe make a diet soda going forward or caffeine anyway, which I think is how communism started, but that's another story. I'm on the board of the Montgomery County Sports Hall of Fame. I think this is true. And others first started letting people in about the idea of a new county hall of fame. The first name mentioned by almost everybody was Katie Ledecky. And we love Ledecky family, not just because John Ledecky gave you free tickets to an Islanders, because that's another story. But we've all come to recognize that friendly, electric smile. You didn't know Elmer Fudd was on the teams, and that friendly, electric smile that masks really the grit and determination and competitive spirit and unmatched talent that we know with Katie Ledecky. Here's a talent, some of all of what I just tried to say.
Is one of the finest women you'll ever see. 15 years of age, the youngest ever to win the longest race for women here.
And they won't even be able to see the feet of Katie Ledecky.
picking the gold medal performance of 2012.
Member Katie Ledecky.
Montgomery County, and what a great place to grow up. I mean, we are so happy that all our kids grew up here, and we just feel the support and the love.
No pressure, but we played it last week, and this is what Katie Ledecky did.
She wins in everything, everything. Katie Ledecky is in training on the West Coast and could not break away. That's why she's so good at what she does. She works so hard. Training on the West Coast could not break away to be here tonight. But her mother, Mary Jen Ledecky, and brother Michael Ledecky are with us here to present the awards. And then is one of the Hall's visionaries, true visionaries, former county executive Ike Lincoln.
Good evening. I first had an opportunity to meet Katie. My assumption was, based on the record-setting performance, her determination, grit, hard work that you see, this would be a very, very tough young lady, one who was ferocious in personality. In reality, it was just the opposite. Just the opposite. A very humbling personality. Very warm smile. Gracious person. I saw just a little bit of clip of a video in which we honored her right here in this very same hall. And I was impressed not only with her records and achievements, but two things stood out very clearly. One of which was a very strong family connection. How she related to kids. How humble she was. At the end of a very long program, a night here was extremely cold. Very, very cold outside. And recognizing that we had a large number of kids in the audience. And they wanted to really touch her, take a photograph, to get an autograph. I leaned over to her and I said, would you mind standing around just for a little bit to take a few photographs? A few photographs turned out to be hundreds. She stood right there, taking photographs of every kid that walked with her, signing every autograph that wanted to be signed. All of it was on display right here. So when we honor an athlete of this greatness, this is an athlete who is tethered to family, who is humble, and reflects the best, not only in the family, but our community in sports. That's what the Hall is about. When Gabe came to me with this idea, it wasn't just about how we honor athletes, but how we reflect the broader community spirit, how we recognize the contributions that have been made by coaches, how we recognize the contributions that have been made by other of the athletes' teams. More importantly, the sacrifices that have been made by the family. When you see the families have taken these young people around, whether or not it's football, soccer, or basketball, going from one event to the other, the financial sacrifices that they made, we're also honoring them. So I want to again thank Gabe for bringing this idea forward. I had the common sense to accept it. You heard from Gabe a little bit earlier. Now, Gabe only made one mistake. He got a little bit excited. He said that athletes and sports bring people together. Well, with a few exceptions. I am a retired military Army captain. I will never accept a Navy win in Texas and Texas A&M. So athletes and sports bring us together to a degree, but we also have that competitiveness. But underneath all of that competitiveness, we see in Katie a very warm, humble young lady who represents the best. Mary, please come forward. Family, please come forward.
Thank you, Mr. Leggett. And thank you, Trish, for all the work that you've done for this. My son is up here. My husband, Katie's father, is sitting down on camera show. But we thank you so much, Montgomery County. We'd like to recognize Mr. Leggett and Mr. Alvarez for really bringing this idea to fruition. I think when Katie swam in her first Olympics, it was her first international swim meet ever, and it happened to be the Olympics. And she was 15 years old and returned afterwards, after she won the gold, to return to school. She was going to be a sophomore at Stone Ridge and welcomed by all of her classmates and teachers there. But I looked this up on September 4th. Mr. Leggett invited Katie and the other Montgomery County Olympians just to have a nice reception over at the county executive office building, and he invited Katie and her family, all of us, to come into his office, and we had just a special, nice, quiet meeting with him without cameras, without any fanfare before the ceremony, and it was so touching that he took the time to spend with us and to celebrate Katie's win and her roots here in Montgomery County. She started as a swimmer in the Montgomery County Swim League at age 6, and we have a joke in our family that everything in life comes back to the Montgomery County League. And as an example, last year she swam in Tokyo and gave a clinic to 100 Japanese swimmers in Tokyo. And afterwards she met all the swimmers and took pictures and so forth, but we need to know there was a mother and a daughter there with a Bethesda swimming shirt on that said MCSL, and they had lived in Montgomery County for 2 years, and they were part of the Montgomery County Swim League. And then this past summer, Katie swam in South Korea, and after she won her 800 freestyle on the last evening, some young guy, placed in his 20s, with an American flag tied around his back, came running up to me, and he said, "I swam at Rockshire." And he was teaching English in Korea, and was, of course, a member of the Montgomery County Swim League growing up. So we have so many great memories of our kids growing up here. We still live here. We still live in the same house in Bethesda, and Katie wishes she could be here. And we'll get all the detail from us. She's back in the water training hard out in California, and she will be here in the future for a future induction of some of the Hall of Fame classes in the future, and will be a huge supporter of this county, as she always has been. She loves it here, and she'll be back.
We're going to picture, and then we're going to hear from Katie herself. But it doesn't happen unless you get a picture and put it on Twitter, so that's how the rules work around here. Let's hear from the Ledecky family. And now let's hear from Katie Ledecky.
Good evening, everyone. I'm really sorry that I can't be there tonight to celebrate this first class of the Montgomery County Sports Hall of Fame. I'm out here at Stanford training really hard for this upcoming year, but I really, really wish that I could be there in Montgomery County to celebrate with everyone and to really honor all the other inductees. Congratulations to all the inductees. I want to first thank the Montgomery County Sports Hall of Fame Board of Directors, and especially Mr. Ike Leggett, for in the Montgomery County Swim League. And that's where I found that I really love the sport, and I met so many great people, so many great friends. We joke that everything always comes back to the Montgomery County Swim League. You meet people in different countries that come up to you and say that they swam for another team in MCSL, and that's such a cool thing, and I really appreciate all the parents and volunteers that make MCSL such a fun thing to do in the summer for any young kid. I also want to thank my schools, Little Flower School and Stonebridge School of the Sacred Heart, for giving me such a great education, and for the community and friendships that you all have shown and given me over the years, and for giving me such a great education that has set me up so well for the college experience that I've had here at Stanford. I also want to thank my family, of course, for having the great sense to live in Montgomery County. My parents and my brother, we've lived in Montgomery County my whole life, and I can't think of a better place to call home. So I really appreciate all the support that I've received from Montgomery County. I feel very lucky to have lived in Montgomery County and to call so many of you my friends, and I feel so lucky that I've gone to the Olympics and had the opportunities that I've had because of how it's shown me what a strong community this is, and how many great friends I do have supporting me and really backing me when I'm at those international competitions. So in conclusion, I just again want to say I'm so sorry that I can't be there. I'm training hard to hopefully make it to my third Olympics this upcoming year. Thank you for your support, and have a good evening.
It's amazing, there's about 600,000 people that live in Montgomery County, but there's 1.2 million that are part of the Montgomery County Swim League. I don't know how that math adds up, but it's a true story. If you were telling the truth, they're all over the world. And by the way, there'll be Montgomery County Swim League t-shirts on sale in the lobby on your way out. All right, let's get to Bruce Murray. I've known him for 30 plus years. He's a man who was really, I believe, truly ahead of his time. He was a soccer star in this country long before we talked about soccer stars. Among his many successes, leading Clemson, not the one, but two NCAA championships. That is significant. He was a member of the U.S. national team. They qualified for the 1990 World Cup. The U.S. men's national team had not qualified since 1950 until 1990. They needed to qualify for 1990, as we then hosted the World Cup in 1994, and as they say, the rest is history. He was also named one of the U.S. collegiate soccer members of the team of the century. Happens to be last century, but still, it wasn't part of a century. He was one time my broadcast partner. They didn't include that in the resume. I don't know what happened there. I might have gotten excluded from the hall. But again, Bruce Murray, significant accomplishments, and it all started here in Montgomery County. Let's take a look. That last shot, not Bruce with the mullet, but Bruce with his arms raised in the air from Trinidad, where they had to qualify on the last day of qualifying to make it to that 1990 World Cup. Again, it was a soccer wilderness for Americans back in 1990, and Bruce Murray was paving the way. We also mentioned that he's a Churchill High School grad. That's the four teams. George Whitman won in titles in 1993. So he's a businessman, runs a soccer camp, and here to present the award is one of his former coaches. He's achieved so much success on his own as a college coach and coach in the community, Keith Bassett. Keith?
Yeah, so first of all, this is just awesome, you know, having this event and to be a part of the very first one. I feel really honored and privileged. Sports is indeed such a great thing, and you know, amongst other things, if we didn't have sports, I think I'd be unemployed. You know, so that's one of the selfish reasons that I think sports is so good, because I really don't know anything else but soccer in my right now. I sometimes start this talk by saying I'll keep it short, but then I just keep thinking people are thinking about what I'm looking like, you know, and my physical stature and everything. So first of all, does everyone see me? All right. I'll tell you what, there's few things as a coach more gratifying than being able to be a part of an honor of somebody that's one of your former players. To be honest, I cannot take very much credit at all for Bruce's success, you know, as a player. I coached him when he was about 12, 13 years old, a scrawny little kid. He's much different right now. And I was just starting out as a coach as well. Bruce often says that he's really surprised that I continued in coaching after coaching him back then, because as many talented athletes do, they do try to push the coach's envelope, you know, quite a bit, and Bruce was one of those. But, you know, I ended up having youth teams in Montgomery County. My first coaching actually was in Montgomery County with Montgomery Rec and MSI, and then at BCC High School. We did win a state title one time as well. But we played against the Montgomery United teams, which were one of the best teams in the country, youth soccer teams that were coached by Bruce's dad, Lord Murray, and by the late legendary John Kerr Sr. And as a coach of the team going against them, I had to try to figure out how am I going to stop Bruce Murray from scoring against us. And his partner, John Kerr Jr., which was probably the best partnership of any youth club there ever was on top. And it made a big effect, actually, on my coaching career, Bruce, you know, in a way that you probably don't know. No, I did not become a better defensive coach, because I actually figured out that I could not stop him. I just became an offensive coach and decided we have to score more goals than the other team. And I actually became known for that a little bit in my time at Georgetown, because we're the same thing. We weren't as good as the other teams. We had to score, outscore them. Defending was not part of me as a coach, and interestingly, it was never part of Bruce as a player either. You know, as you see, all these things were on the forward side. But I'll tell you what, watching Bruce play was great. You often say, as a players often say that, you know, coaches inspire them, but you also need to know that players can inspire coaches. And when you were starting out in your part of development in the Olympic development program, when I was first with you, I was starting out as a coach, and you're an example of somebody that also inspired me as the days went on. I also really got inspired by Bruce when he stopped playing and he became a coach, and we actually had the fantastic experience of coaching together with McLean Soccer Club for a few years, and what Bruce does to continue, you know, promoting the sport and continue exciting players, you know, in the sport is great. But he also does it, you know, with a professionalism, you know, and a humility as well. And it's interesting because one time I was on the bench with him in a game with McLean. He's playing some team, and the coach on the other team is actually, I think, I'll just say he's a jerk, okay? And he's yelling at the ref at every single play. And Bruce gets up and he says something to the ref, like, "Are you going to be listening to this guy the whole time?" Or, you know, sort of thing. The guy turns to Bruce and says, "You know, like you've ever played the game." You know, and he obviously didn't know who Bruce was. Bruce looks at me like, you know, and I said, "Bruce, never get into an argument with a fool. He will pull you to his level and beat you with experience." And this guy was definitely a fool, right? To not know who Bruce Murray was, right? And Dave just went through, you know, all the highlights, you know, with Bruce. He also played in England. He played for Millwall, and if I'm right, you scored 6 minutes in your opening game, you know, in the English professional league as well. But Bruce continues to, be an impact on our youth. And I know he inspired youth. I know McLean, you certainly did, and your coaching here in Montgomery County as well. And I can't tell you, what an honor it is to be able to be here and be a part of this tonight, Bruce. And I congratulate you and wish you the best. And I just keep on doing what you're doing, because I know the sport of soccer will keep on growing and growing with you. Bruce Martin.
Bruce is really 6'9", that's what we're
Thank you very much. I want to thank the committee, Joe, Trish, and everything that you're doing. And when I found out that this was going to be the Hall of Fame I was inducted to, I told my wife, oh my God, who's going in? And she started naming the names, and I thought, oh my gosh, these were incredible. But I'm a lifelong resident of Montgomery County. And I've lived here, I have a house here, I have children here, I have 5 children. Dominic Dawes has started something. Come on up, guys. Ready? We've got the Tooth Fairy coming tonight. So anybody know what the Tooth Fairy is? Great. So, one question I really have for the committee, Trish, and just want to know, with all the technology we have, we can't get rid of the mullet in these pictures. No? No, my God, yeah. So is it Ricky? Billy Ray Cyrus now? He's popular again? Like, maybe it'll come back, who knows? But until then, I'm doomed, because every picture has a mullet in it. But, no, I want to touch on something Ike said about sacrifice. My mom and dad came here from Scotland. My dad came here with nothing, 0. I think he said when he got to JFK, he had golf clubs, and he stepped to touch the door, and the door opened up. I've never seen an automatic door, and he fell out. And his first experience in New York was golf clubs all over the park at the airport. So, but my dad was a golf pro here in Montgomery County, Bretton Woods, which is a little bit out past Potomac. It used to be called Germantown, but I think now it's more Potomac. But yeah, so I guess that's for but he had a very complicated job as a golf pro, a young golf pro from Scotland, a very IMF World Bank clientele. It's a very wonderful membership, but it can be a difficult membership at times. I can't tell you a weekend or a day where my dad wasn't in practice or our games. And I think we talked about that earlier about family. I have a family of 5, 4. And, for him to be able to get to all these games, what does a golf pro do on the weekend? He teaches, right? So, my dad is the greatest, salesman of all time, I guess, or he was the greatest dad in terms of what kind of dad he was. So, that's important to me, is the fact that it is about family. And, again, this is the Hall of Fame that means more to me. I've obviously, like all of our other inductees, been inducted in other places, but this Hall of Fame, I'm a Montgomery County resident, born and bred, and I accept this award on behalf of all my teammates and the people who made it available. But really, I owe you, Montgomery County. I owe you everything. I owe Churchill. I owe a vice principal who wouldn't let me quit when I didn't really care about school as much as I should have, or I never would have gone to college and these opportunities. But Montgomery County is they kind of put their hands together and made it all happen. There's no question that whenever I would go anywhere in the world, I mean, I've been to 44 countries, I've lived in a number of countries. Montgomery County was always on my mind. I've got friends that I grew up with over here. I want to recognize Julian. And you never get away from Montgomery County. You always come back to Montgomery County. You always hear parts here. It's what means the most to you in your life, and just being a resident of this county. And I will give back. I will continue to give back because you guys gave me everything I have, and you gave a first-generation family from Europe with no money, nothing to no nickels to rub together. 3 boys who went to college. Nobody had ever gone to college in my family. We had 3 very successful. My older brother Sterling, take a big bow. Yeah. Sterling's a U.S. Marshal. I guess at Interpol and does all this stuff, and does a lot of stuff that he doesn't tell us about. And I got Cameron, who's a entrepreneur, and I got myself, who got soccer and made it a career. Okay, but Montgomery County made all that happen, right? We worked, we fought, we battled on the field, right? But Montgomery County gave us that platform, and as long as I'll take a breath, I will be working for Montgomery County in the sports fields as volunteering, doing whatever I need to do, because this is where I grew up, and I am Montgomery County. Thank you very much.
And again, because of this Montgomery County lad, we qualified for the 1990 World Cup, and we have Major League Soccer, we have the Washington Spirit playing boys about to sell out Audi Field again tomorrow when they play the Brain FC. It must be a great sense of pride, because you guys were the forerunners of what's happening right now.
Well, it's incredible. My older brother Sterling, the U.S. Marshal, was on the very first MSI team in 1991. He was one of the first 7 teams in the first league. It's all tied in. It's an amazing county. Absolute sense of pride, and I know my brother does too. For he obviously played in the league. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
True story. By the way, I met the greatest name in the world, Sterling Murray. Can I borrow that? I got stuck with Dave Johnson. I wanted to be Sterling. So Sterling Murray with your news. By the way, Bruce played in England at a place called Millwall, where their chant is, "No one likes us, we don't care." And the Rottweilers walk in too, the neighborhood's so tough, so that's a tough place. Teacher, leader, mentor, friend, and of course, coach. Just some of the words that describe Coach Bob Lloyd, who retired 2 years ago after 50 years.
Coached my brothers and myself, me in lacrosse, obviously. And then after retiring from Sherwood and Montgomery County Public Schools in 2001, he concluded his career at Good Counsel from 2001 to 2016. It's a long time. Now, as his daughter, I don't like to boost his ego too much, but I thought I'd highlight some accomplishments throughout those years. He won 12 championships, holding the record for most Maryland state championships, 8 in total with the public school system. 6 at Springbrook and then 2 at Sherwood. And then the other 4 were consecutive WCAC championships at Good Counsel, while being ranked #1 in the Post all 4 years, which was never done before and has not been done since. He holds the record for the most victories in Maryland history at 405 wins. He's coached 32 teams that were ranked in the Washington Post top 20 list, including 8 #1 ranked teams. He's been named Coach of the Year by the Washington, D.C. Touchdown Club, named Coach of the Year 18 times by various D.C. media outlets, and nominated for National Coach of the Year, and then named recently, a couple years ago, to the Washington, D.C. Sports Hall of Fame in 2016, among many other accolades. And finally, I'd be remiss to not mention that during that time, he snagged my mom as his wife. It's a pretty big accomplishment. He taught algebra for 41 years, was a pretty successful girls softball coach at Springbrook for 11 years, and he won the championship with them every year, so 11 championships with them as well. And then stepped in to coach my lacrosse team at Sherwood for 2 years, where we won our division both times, and he didn't even know how to hold a lacrosse stick, which was pretty funny. So without further ado, please help me in congratulating my father.
Slideshow of my daughter, I don't have anything else to say. It's been said, but I do want to thank my daughter for a wonderful introduction, and of course to thank the Montgomery County Council for getting this thing off the ground. Trish in particular, for all the hard work. I know I talked to her and emailed her probably 30 times in the last 2 weeks. A lot of work and by a lot of people, and it's a great, great idea. It's going to get bigger and bigger because there is an awful lot of people that should be or will be in this organization before it's all over. And I'm having trouble seeing this. We'd like to congratulate all the other inductees, especially the next one, Mr. Sean Springs, because I had the privilege of coaching him, and without him, I probably wouldn't even be standing here. But seriously, I'm having trouble reading my handwriting on top of that. To be, really, when I heard about this, and to be placed in this inaugural group, you know, with 3 professional athletes and 2 gold medal winners, I mean, it's like surreal to me. I'm not in that zip code. I'm really not. But I'm happy to be here, and you have to drag me off. But it's such an honor. It's hard to say my feelings. Anyway, a lot of the things that I was going to say, actually, if I put my glasses on, probably help read this thing. A teacher told me a long time ago, find something that you love to do, and then somehow you find a way to get paid for it. So the story said, 1961, my brother came home, and you know the team was going to be canceled. The season's going to be canceled. 8th grade football had a little place called Little Flower Catholic High School where Katie Ledecky went, and so I actually that's one thing I have to be famous about. It was the same elementary school that Katie Ledecky did. Anyway, the priest said, you can do it until I find somebody else, and that was 57 years ago. And it was, you know, the best thing ever happened to me. However, you know, in 56 years of coaching football, you know, I never made a tackle, and I never caught a pass, and I never scored a touchdown. I had an awful lot of help. And I'd be remiss by not saying a few things. To be a successful high school coach, you need 5 very, very important parts. Number 1, you got to have great players. And of course, one of them sitting over there. Actually, there's a bunch more from Springbrook sitting right there that I just noticed. But
You got to have great players, and over the years, we had 9 of them that got to the NFL, and over 300 of them went to play college football. You got to have great coaches, and I had dozens of those. Not too many over here because they're all coaching football Friday night. They all got games, all of them still coaching. But a couple of them are. John Haberman, I worked with John for 26 years. Gary Robertson, who's sitting back there, we coached together for a long, long time. Third thing, you have to have that. And over the years, I've had some big, my first boss was Morgan Newton. I remember him. My second boss is Dr. Darrell, a long-time principal, Dr. Thomas Marshall in Springbrook for 18 years, and Jack Graham, a good counsel after that. Art May was who actually hired me there, and I see that our president, I did. I'd like to thank you for coming. And somebody else, if I missed anybody, I really do apologize. Thousands of great parents and supporters of the program, thousands of them, that we obviously couldn't mention too many of them. But and last and certainly not least, my family, my wife of 44 years, Susan. Thank you. My oldest boy, Brendan, played tackle for me on the state championship team at Sherwood, and the second one, Robbie, played for 3 years. I did Coach Kelly on the cross, as she said. I'm the oldest child of 10. And we grew up on 7 blocks of Bradley Boulevard. In 1953, we moved in there, so we've been in Montgomery County for longer than I want to tell you. 72 years, and my mother is still alive. She couldn't come tonight, but she's 94 years old, and she'd like to be here. I do have my brother Timmy and my sister Mary Lou. I don't know if anybody else lives. My niece Lauren is there. They're sitting right there. Thank you for coming. And I read a book by Bud Grant, famous football coach of Minnesota Vikings. And Bud Grant says, if you ever get in front of people, he says, you got to remember, you got to stand tall so they can see you. And you got to speak loudly so they can hear you. And you got to speak slowly so they understand you. And you got to speak briefly so they'll like you. In closing, I had the best job in the world. I did it and loved every minute of it. I used to look forward to getting up and going to work. And it's a privilege and an honor rather to be called a coach. It makes me smile every time I hear it. Thank you very much. Bob, ladies and gentlemen. One question. By the way, is Susan, do we lose Susan? No, is Susan still here? Well, yes, no, the way Kelly described it, we should have made your house a sitcom with coaches and then hanging out. And congratulations to Susan for taking care of him and about 4 other coaches every week. That's great. Hey, Bob, you said you were told the key to life is finding something you like, are passionate about, and get paid for it. You did it for so many years. What was it about coaching? What did you like so much that you wanted to do it and get paid for it?
Honestly, just being at the school with those kids every day, they made you laugh. And it was tough times also, but it's just when you went out and you beat somebody maybe who was better than you, and the look on their face was like, you told us we could do that. And that's what it's all about, and the fact that you can see guys like Sean Springs and the rest of those guys sitting there every now and then, it's just what it's all about.
Congratulations to Bob Moore. A real Hall of Famer making an impact. In fact, his coach, still right here, right? So there's no better legacy for a coach than the success of your players on and off the field. Both are very important. Our next inductee in the Montgomery County Sports Hall of Fame was an All-State running back and defensive back under Coach Malloy at Springburn. We won some titles with that guy, carrying the ball and helping you out on defense. An All-American defensive back for Ohio State, as Michigan grad Julian Norman reminded me earlier. A first-round draft pick, which is significant. Think about it, we have 1 billion people on this planet, and only 28, 30, or 32 get selected in the first round of the NFL draft. I spent some time, of course, here with the Washington Redskins. In fact, 4 years back home, where we think he belongs with the Washington Redskins. And let me tell you something. You ready, gang? I know it's been a long night, but now, big finish. Are you ready for some football, huh? You ready for some football? Let's just see how good Sean Springs was. We're ready.
so much more in sports. It's about the relationships that I've developed over the years. Ike Williams, Omar Evans, who are like my little brothers, and Eric Allen, and Danny Roman, and some of the guys I played with. And Ike and Omar, particularly, they were 2 classes younger than me, but they were my brothers. And they pushed me, because I knew if I got out of the game, they was going to score some touchdowns. I had to hurry up and make some plays. But the thing I'm most excited about, and I think this is what is so unique about Montgomery County, we're friends today, and we have influence on each other's kids. You know, we are, Omar is training my kids and talking to them now. They're in college and they're playing. And Ike has kids, and his son Devontae is playing in college. But we are sharing stories and lessons to our kids from high school and different things. And I think that's so important that, we know they go way beyond sports. It's more of a family atmosphere. It's one of those things that, you just, when you see these people you remember from high school, now they're influencing your family the same way Coach Malloy. Some of the lessons I learned from Coach Malloy and Coach Haberman. And Coach Haberman, great job tonight, because Coach Haberman is now a man of many words. And the one lesson I learned from Coach Hay was like, you don't have to be a man of many words, just be a man of your actions. And that was always Coach Hay, because you would ask the question, hey, did I do okay with this play? He would look at you like, you're all right. But it was always about the action. And I'm so thankful, and I'm going to do my part, to give back to Montgomery County and see how we can make this a special night for the next group of athletes who come through, because it means a lot to be able to stand in front of you guys. Never thought a young man out of Springbrook who just wanted to work hard and just be hanging out with his friends playing basketball at Stonegate Park and Martin Luther King Park, that I would have the success and be able to influence the community like I have. Thank you for everything, and thank you for the award. Thank you for all my friends and people who are here. Oh, Miss A, I can't go without saying Miss A. Miss A, again, she won Teacher of the Year. I can't forget Miss A and other people who are here supporting her. But the reason why it was so important, Miss Joyce and the teacher, because so often it goes unnoticed about the importance of academics. And you talk about, and I can tell you one story, this is an example of Miss A. And I told Miss A, I said, Miss A, I already got a scholarship. I'm the man. I'm going to Ohio State. I don't need to do this paper. I already got grades. Miss A said, I'm going to tell the coach, if you don't do this paper, you're not playing tonight. Right? And she held me accountable. And she wasn't even my teacher. She said, you're a Spanish teacher. This is English class. And she held so many young men, along with Coach Malloy and the coaching staff that we had. She held so many young men accountable, and that's what our county is about. That was about great athletes, it's about great people, about great academics. It's about being a community, it's about being a family. Councilman, thank you for supporting Montgomery County, the board of directors, Julia Norman, thank you for nominating me. I know it's hard being a Michigan man. And Julia, at this point, it's not even a rivalry. We beat y'all so bad. No, but Trish and Julie and all the board of directors, Joe, who I had the privilege to work with at Comcast, all the people, I'm thrilled to be a part of it. I will do everything I can in my heart to serve. A great event. Thank you. They put Seattle highlights because we didn't know how well the Redskins were going to be this time.
I got Sean a question, because we heard, it's probably the true answer. The reason you Springbrook is girls. That's what we did. But what else about Springbrook attracted you?
Well, that is true. The truth is, when I went to the school store to meet Mr. Boyd, he was working in the school store, and he had some pretty girls there. At 17 years old, I was pretty impressionable. But I think the thing for me, when you think about Springbrook, Springbrook seems to be the school in the county where, as you talked about the wrestling team, how all this nationality, Springbrook is one of those schools that, you got every race and ethnicity group that's represented at the school. but we all Springbrook, we all Springbrook blue devils, we that blue and white, and we believe that we're the best school in the county. And I love that pride, I love that family atmosphere, and that's what the county's about, and you guys.
Makes you feel good about Montgomery County, huh? Just indulge me for a moment, because again, this is a special night. I think we should realize the significance. So let's get the two of these up here. They had some success here. Now, Sean, you know too about talking. We just heard that. So I'm going to give the microphone to you. Okay. And would you, something you've always wanted to ask your coach, or say to your coach, you've got the moment now, you've got the mic.
Yeah, that's a tough question. And this is a question that I'm quite sure a lot of people want to know. You have 300 college athletes, non-pros. Who's the best football?
You know, you can, I learned a long time ago from the master, Coach Morgan, he would never tell you. He would never tell you that Adrian Dantley was, but he would never tell you. You know, we had a lot of them, 9 of them got the pros, and they were all great, and I would never pick one over the other. Like, you couldn't say who's your favorite child, you just can't do that. But I wouldn't want to check Stefan Diggs too much. I can't. No, I'm just kidding. I'm standing next to one. I'm wrong.
I'll give you equal time. David, you want to ask Sean or tell Sean, this is your moment. It's every night that we get the two together.
Oh, no. You tell them the Wayne Haskins story?
Yeah, if you want a funny story, I was sitting in my office 5 years ago at Good Counsel High School, and Sean walks in, unannounced, no phone call, nothing. He's got this lanky kid there with him, and his mother and father and sister. He said, "This is Wayne Haskins here, and he's going to be a pro player. You need to get, I want him to go to your school, Good Counsel." So I looked at the film, and he was a great player, no question about it. And you know, but I had a starting quarterback coming back, and I just couldn't. The father wanted to, you know, he's starting now tomorrow. There's no competition. He's your quarterback. I couldn't do that. I really couldn't do it. So Sean, you know, took him over to Fullis, and I don't blame him. And years later, my oldest son was one of my coaches said, "You know, you've done." You'd have got Wayne Haskins, we'd have won 2 more championships. That's a true story.
Sean Springs, Bob Malloy, Hall of Famers. I know it's been a long night. We ruined Don's date night, but that's okay. But I hope that everybody remembers this night. Because we started this night, or at least I started this night with a quote from Cal Ripken. That you can be remembered by living your dream and making a difference. And that's tonight, I think, what this first ever Hall of Fame class in Montgomery County Sports Hall of Fame was all about. One more time, I'll let me friend of applause for Johnny Dawes, Walter Johnson, Pete McKenzie, Bob Malloy, Lee Story, and Sean Springs. And we can have all of our Hall of Famers come up on the stage for one more picture.
Some of you get the outside doors. Some of you get the outside doors.